muted. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everybody. Hope you are doing great. Welcome. Oh. Hello, hello. Yeah, there we go. Getting the audios working. Hey, folks. Great to see you all. Welcome, welcome. Welcome to our first stream of our 2023 anniversary week. Amazing that we've made it. Yeah, sound check time. Yeah, thank you all. Hopefully it'll all be sounding good. I think looks like my mic might be coming in a little hot. I'm gonna dial that down just a touch. Hopefully that's good for you all. I'll calibrate music to match if that happens later. And yeah, really excited to hang out with everybody and kick off this week. We've got so much going on. It's really amazing that we've managed to once again squeeze in so much. I don't know exactly. I think our team sometimes wonders why we do this to ourselves, but yeah, no, it's really exciting that we've got so much going on, and I'm really excited to kind of use today's stream to give like an overview of everything that we're doing and answer questions from chat and talk to you all about state of Foundry VTT and tee up everything that we're going to do throughout the week. So it's really going to be a fun time, and excited to have you all here to join. So hope you're all having a wonderful Friday and looking ahead towards the weekend. Hope you all have fun weekend plans. So yeah, like without further ado, this is going to be a little bit of a partially kind of, not really a presentation, but just kind of like partially like going through some stuff. But mostly it's sort of a hangout stream and just kind of teeing off what we're doing for the week by chatting with you all and answering questions. And so feel free to ask questions about Foundry or about, maybe not quite AMA. We are going to actually do a Reddit AMA as part of our weekly itinerary. But if you have any questions, just feel free to pop them in chat. We might have a giveaway or two. I don't know. We'll see. I haven't exactly decided if we're going to do that or not. But yeah, we'll see. There'll definitely be giveaways throughout the week for sure. So Foundry VTT future features snack plate sampler. Maybe a little bit of that. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what we get into. Yeah, really excited though. Let's go ahead and without further ado, we can kind of like pop into chatting about some stuff. So I was thinking we can start with an overview of what's going on this week. And so I've got here on the right, I've got the anniversary schedule for the week. And so there's a little graphic. This article is available on the website. There's a banner on the front page that links to it. So if you just go to our homepage, you can get to this schedule yourself. So today we have the sale that has started this stream, which is kind of just a kickoff opener for the week. And about the sale first, I guess I'll go in order. So we have the software licenses as well as premium content for Demon Queen Awakens and House Divided, are two sort of in-house pieces of premium content that we've done. I'm going to, maybe I'll put that over here on the left. So I'll put them sort of side by side. Yeah, so let's see, purchase, let's toss this over here. Yeah, so the software is on sale, 20% off, but not just the software, also House Divided and Demon Queen Awakens are all 20% off for the next 10 days. So really great opportunity to pick up Foundry VTT if you're thinking about it, if you haven't yet. If you have friends in the mood for giving gifts or things like that, you can purchase software licenses. You can transfer those licenses. We have a transfer tool, so like you can, I guess this is the admin transfer tool. Yours looks a little bit different, but yeah, you can transfer licenses to your friends, or you can, let's see. Yeah, so also like House Divided, for example, like our premium content is also on sale. And when you purchase that, say you already have that, if you like it or Demon Queen, you can click purchase as a gift when you're checking out. and it will allow you to buy a code for those packages that you can give to someone else. So if you want to share the love, we appreciate that. All of your purchases go directly towards helping to support our team and what we're doing, and it's the key way that we keep growing and keep doing all of this amazing stuff. So thank you very much for that. And I hope you yourself or some friends of yours are eager to pick up Foundry VTT while it's on sale. So please help share the word for that. Next up is on our schedule is today. So today's stream is just kind of an opener to kind of kick off the week, but also help kind of kick off FoundryCon. So let's talk a little bit about FoundryCon. Very cool community organized event that our subreddit is sponsoring and helping to organize. So this is the first ever FoundryCon, and we're helping with it, but it's mostly a great initiative that's being self-organized by the community in the subreddit. And so so about FoundryCon, it's a kind of set of games running all weekend. There's all kinds of games scheduled. You can find all of the games on the schedule at Warhorn, which is the tool being used for FoundryCon. So you can, kind of browse the schedule there and sort of see everything that's going on. And there's games to participate in. There's still open slots. There's giveaways. There's also a number of streamed games that people, like some folks are streaming their games. So games are tagged as streamed. If you want to kind of catch some great live play for people using Foundry VTT, maybe see some new ideas for things you can do for your own games. Really appreciative to the Reddit community for sponsoring that and organizing it, and really appreciative to all of the amazing GMs who've stepped up to run games throughout the weekend as part of that event. So thank you to everyone involved in making FoundryCon happen. And then, of course, not least of which are all of the amazing sponsors, all of the amazing folks that helped to make FoundryCon happen. And those would be Rollsmith, where you can buy digital dice skins for 3D Dice, The Forge, Molten Hosting, both of really fantastic hosting service providers for Foundry VTT, Ripper and his Ripper 93, that is, and his amazing modules, 3D Canvas and others, Dragonshorn Studios, Rugalt and his adventures, Mad Cartographer, Kobold Press, Pelgrane Press, and Bailey Wiki, last but certainly not least. Really amazing folks from our community that are helping sponsor the event with support and content and hosting and giveaways. So really just like kudos all around to everybody who got involved to make that a reality. It's a really, really awesome event, and I'm thrilled that our community, took the initiative to make that happen, and then we're more than happy to, to help support it. So really thanks to everybody. That's really amazing stuff. So that's FoundryCon, and then tomorrow there is a live stream on this channel. Going to be some Pathfinder 2nd Edition gameplay happening where Tim, T-Moon, as we affectionately call him. No one calls him that, but T-Mon is going to be running his 150th Pathfinder Society glyph, which is a really pretty awesome milestone. And so it's good to be able to support that and help Tim celebrate that very cool milestone. And Anathema from our team is going to be playing in that PFS game. Nath says not glyph, 150th game. So Tim's running that tomorrow, and that's a really cool milestone for him. And so that's going to be here on this channel at 1 p.m. Eastern. And then on Monday, we'll have our year in review article live on the website, which is a great opportunity for folks to read a little bit of reflection and thought about where we are as a team and as a company and what we're doing with Foundry. It's all good news, and so it's really sort of a moment to reflect, but also a moment to be grateful and to express our gratitude for the good fortune we've had and the support we've had from the community. Things are going well, and we have you all to thank for that, but we also are working really hard to make sure that that happens. And so through some combination of hard work and good fortune, things are going great. And so our article that will be posted on Monday will have some thoughts about that. And it's not a long read, but I hope you'll all find that interesting, get a little bit more perspective into what we're doing. And then on Tuesday, on the Foundry VTT subreddit, we have a AMA that will be going all day on Foundry VTT subreddit. So sort of throughout the workday, the team and I are all going to have a thread going where you can ask anything you want, whether it's about Foundry, about us. I mean, you'll see if you get an answer. But on the community subreddit, who are, of course, also sponsoring FoundryCon, we're going to be doing that AMA all day on Tuesday. And so really encourage you all, if you're a Reddit user, or even if not, please stop by, ask us some questions, get some answers, or since it's, of course, text-based and asynchronous, just plan to stop by, later after it's all done, and you can read through all of the interesting questions and answers, and hopefully you'll find our perspective amusing or interesting or helpful or, something. Then we have on Wednesday the 24th, we are anticipating the stable release of version 11, which is a really huge and exciting milestone for us. It's our latest and greatest stable version of the software. And so, that's going to be available for everybody this coming Wednesday, V11 Stable. And we're very, very excited about it. We're really pleased with where V11 is as a generation. It's feeling really, really good to use, and our team is really happy with it. I think we've done, I don't want to be too self-congratulatory, but I think we've done great work with V11, and I'm really excited for it to be, the new normal for Foundry users. And so that is coming next week. And so on Wednesday, we'll be celebrating that going stable. Probably that stream's going to be like kind of a high-level overview of like everything in V11. So if you haven't necessarily been like following along the various like developer streams all along the way, I think that will be a great opportunity to get sort of a high-level survey of where things are and what V11 contains. Oh my God! Look at the amazing gifts from Bomb Time. Thank you so much. Really appreciate those gift subs, Bomb Time. That's really awesome. Thank you very much for that. Really generous of you. Really great stuff. On Thursday, we will have a live stream. I will be back. I guess I'll be on the Wednesday one too. I'll be back on Thursday with a stream all about a thing called Crucible, which is a project that we've had kind of slow burning in the background for a while. And it's time to share that a little bit. It's time to pull the curtains back and share that with the community. It's something that is really exciting, and I can't wait to get into that in detail. So the Thursday stream for Crucible is going to be really like an in-depth look at what we're doing. I'll probably like tease a little bit of it today because I'm going to do kind of a overview today of everything, and so I'll touch on Crucible today as well. And then Friday, we are doing a full team activity, which we do every month. So as some of you may know from our developer Q&A streams, we have a thing we do on the team where we all gather together on the last Friday of the month for something called Free Project Friday. And so the premise of Free Project Friday is that it gives us a chance to all kind of pick a fun passion project where we're not constrained by deadlines or prioritization or urgent deliverables. We're all able to take a step back and think about something like, what would be really fun to work on? What would each of us individually really love to do to make Foundry better or more interesting or cooler in some way? And a lot of the awesome features that we end up adding to the software, many of them kind of have their origin story as part of this monthly Free Project Friday activity. And so it's been really a fertile it's been a fertile ground for coming up with really great new features. And so we've kind of always kept that internal, and this isn't going to become a regular thing that we do this sort of visibly, because it is sort of a safe space for our team to, try something that's stretching our skills or try something that may not come off. And so, a lot of what comes out of Free Project Friday is sort of more of like a hacked together prototype, proof of concept, not necessarily like polished for public consumption. But we are this time around, as part of our anniversary celebration, going to publicly celebrate / embarrass ourselves as part of Free Project Friday, and everyone's going to be sharing their FPF demos here on Twitch. We're going to gather together as a team and go through those. It's always a lot of fun, and I think that the community will enjoy seeing that, and so I hope that you'll all plan to join us for that. Then later in the day on Friday, next Friday the 26th, is the opening stream we have for PaizoCon, where we have a PaizoCon panel about using Foundry VTT for Pathfinder 2nd Edition. And that is going to be at 7 p.m. Eastern on the Paizo Twitch channel. And Nath and Cora from our team will be joined by some Paizo folks to get into the nitty-gritty details of all of the amazing things happening with the Pathfinder system. And then that is the sort of the end of our scheduled programming. So the sale ends the day after that weekend. PaizoCon, of course, is all weekend. So starting on Friday, PaizoCon is going to be ongoing, and I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of excellent Pathfinder games running on Twitch and elsewhere as part of PaizoCon. So we've got FoundryCon this weekend, and then PaizoCon next weekend. And then our anniversary sale ends on the 29th at 10 p.m. Eastern. So that's the schedule for this week. There's a lot going on, and for a small team like ours, this is a busy one. So I really it's fun though. It's fun to be able to celebrate this and really appreciate the community. I really appreciate you all giving us the opportunity to do this by being so interested and engaged and supportive and all of that. So that's the overview. Before I get into some stuff for today's stream, let me see if there's any questions from chat I can pull in. Mostly just people saying very nice things. Let's see. Crystalline's asking about, expected stability of V10 modules in V11. It should be pretty good. I mean, we can't make any guarantees, blanket guarantees. There are going to be some cases where a module doesn't work the way we would want it to in V11. But for the most part, V11's very stable with regards to, the ease of bringing V10 forward into V11. Let's see. Let's see. Question from Jew Jackson. What is your preferred game system in Foundry? Oof, tough question. I have a couple favorites. I think that the Warhammer Fantasy 4th Edition system is really, really awesome. I love that kind of grimdark feel that it has, and the kind of total Foundry overhaul that it does. It makes me feel like I'm really immersed in that system's IP. I also really love the Pathfinder system. I think it's among the most powerful that we have on the platform. I think, and then there's other projects, other systems that I really admire. Crucible, that you'll get a little glimpse of, is one that, of course, I'm a little biased, but it's been something that I've been really loving lately, and so that's certainly up there also. All right, why don't we go ahead and move into some more content. I think my plan for today is to survey just a little bit of the stuff that's going to be mentioned in our year in review post. Then I'm going to talk a little bit about what's new in the V11 recent releases that we haven't had a dev stream about between between now and the last one that we did. Then I'll showcase a little bit of Crucible. We might do a giveaway or two. And then wrap up with just a whole batch of audience Q&A, very informal, just chatting. So that's the plan for today. Hope you're all interested in that, but I think it should be interesting. I'll try and do my best to make it interesting for you all. So starting with our year in review, I'm not going to really show this article yet, but just using it to help me remember what I want to talk about. We have accomplished an awful lot this year. It's been amazing. I was commenting with Roman on the team that it sort of simultaneously feels like it was just barely not that long ago that we were doing stuff for V10 release and our anniversary celebration last year, even before that. But at the same time, it also feels like that was ages ago by this point. And so time has been kind of a little bit of a blur because we've been doing so much. We have grown our community. Our Discord community is now up to something like 70K or something users on the Discord server. Well-behaved and respectful and inclusive and welcoming users, that is. I mean, that's really amazing to have that many people that are sort of behaving themselves and being kind to one another on the internet. I don't know what we've done to deserve that, except for just, really trying to set the right tone, and our moderators and helpers do a fantastic job with that. We've grown the team, so our team has expanded fairly significantly between last year and now. We hired Ali, who is a full-time web developer doing a lot of work on the website technology stack. On the software side, we have converted Secret Fire over to being full-time, so we have more of his Secret Fire now. We hired Eber Dev Numbers, as we affectionately call him in the community, who's a recent hire who's joined the team already, doing great work to help us squash bugs as we get V11 closer to stable. We hired a bunch of amazing creative folks. So Kaora joined the team as a sort of artist and designer. I'm sure you're all familiar with Kaora's work. It's really tremendous stuff. We have another artist, Drew, who we hired. Some writers, so Aaron Roberts and Chris Lockey and others. All of those amazing creative folks are working on sort of another project that we're not going to talk about this anniversary, but you'll be hearing about, I'm sure, later this year, but the time isn't quite right yet to pull the curtains on that one. But that's a really, really exciting project with some really tremendous people involved in it, and that's going to be extremely exciting when the time comes. But yeah, that growth of the team has been really noteworthy, it's been amazing to see the team grow in that way. And expand in that way. And so there's a lot more of us now, which is a challenge, and that's come with its own difficulties. But overall, I think the team has a really amazing rapport, and we work really well together. Oh, also Cora, of course, between last year and this year, is an addition to our team. So leading the front lines of Pathfinder conversion through our official partnership with Paizo, I'd be remiss to not mention her as well. I think, although I suppose it's possible that she joined before last. I don't know. I'm losing track a little bit of when exactly Cora joined, but maybe it was since last anniversary. I don't remember. This is what I mean. The time warp effect is pretty significant. Cody's right. Her contributions feel so much bigger than that. So maybe it has been longer than a year. Really amazing stuff. And so that's been really exciting growth for the team itself, growth for the community. The subreddit recently celebrated their milestone of 50,000 users on the subreddit, which is so amazing. Makes it one of the largest subreddits out there, which is really incredible to have that kind of activity and support. we had a really big milestone with the core software. So we released version 10 since last year, and now we're releasing version 11. So both of those major versions have been things that have happened since since last year. And then we also released a House Divided, which is a piece of content that I and the team are really, really proud of. If you're not familiar with House Divided, it's a sort of gothic horror adventure of familial drama and intrigue. And it is a really expansive piece of content. There's many groups out there that are running it like week to week, and I love reading in our Discord. They're like after action reports of like how their games are going. And it's really great to get that positive feedback and to see people really enjoying the House Divided adventure. But I don't think I have seen a single group yet who has beaten the end boss. I keep keeping an eye out for the sort of world first completion of that final boss of the adventure. And I think there's some groups that are starting to get pretty close, but I have not seen a group that has beaten it yet. Oh, here we go. We've got D. Ruckle says our group did. So, I mean, obviously not everyone who plays the adventure posts in the Discord channel about it. So, that's only a subset, but, yeah, awesome. I'm really looking forward to seeing that a little bit more and seeing how people like the conclusion of the adventure. But it's something that we're really proud of how we put it together. And, I mean, obviously I'm biased, but I think it's a tremendous piece of content and it's a tremendous value. I'll use this moment to shill that it is on sale for 25% off at the moment. So it is $32 USD for the House Divided adventure that will keep you and your group entertained with top quality VTT adventure content for several months at least. So I hope you consider checking it out, but it's a product that we have a lot of pride in having created. So yeah, that was something that we did in the last year. We also have released a bunch of Pathfinder content in collaboration with Paizo. So I don't know exactly if I guess Abomination Vaults was close to last year's anniversary, but since then we've released the Bestiaries token pack. We have released the Harrow module just recently, which is very fun. So this is... I'll pull these two up. This is... tokens, Bestiaries. So the Bestiary token pack is a really amazing product. And one thing that I love about both of these products is that they both have kind of cross system support. They are both Pathfinder products, but they're products that can work for really any game system on Foundry VTT. The token pack includes 1,207 creatures with beautiful token artwork like this. So it's the original Paizo artwork, but all of the artwork has been kind of hand crafted to give an artisanal kind of ring style where the token artwork is integrated with the ring in a really aesthetically pleasing way. It's not trivial to do that. And so we did it for all, 1,207 of those creatures. And you can use these tokens in any game system that you want. Doesn't have to be Pathfinder. And we also have automatic token replacement mapping for Pathfinder, for D&D 5th edition, and for 13th Age. Maybe more at this point. I don't know if there was another system that has gotten support for that mapping yet. But I think those are the three that come to mind for me right now. That in those systems, if you have the module active, it will automatically replace actors in the system Compendium Packs with this artwork. So you don't even have to do it yourself. It's just this artwork will be automatically used if you have the module installed for one of those systems. So really amazing stuff in the token pack. It's probably like one of the, if not the best value like VTT products that I've ever seen in terms of like what you get for what you pay. It's pretty phenomenal. So really check that out. I mentioned Harrow, so that's another one that we just released, was the Harrow deck, which is like the token pack, really cool because it is system agnostic. It's obviously a Pathfinder product, and so it is designed for use with Pathfinder 2, and it integrates really nicely with things like the, Lost Omens setting, or the Stolen Fate adventure path that's just recently released. But the Harrow deck is a sort of tarot card style reading with its own rules and interface for displaying the cards to your users in a very dramatic way. So like everyone's seeing the reading as it happens, the cards kind of flip over and everyone experiences the reading together. It's a nice, like, fun interface for doing that kind of foretelling. It also includes some really nice touches in terms of like allowing the game master to kind of help configure the reading. If there's like a particular story they want to tell, they can sort of use the reading configuration to kind of lead the cards in a certain direction. It's a really nice, neat little product, and it's not that expensive. And so you get the full like deck with all of the beautiful artwork. You get the software to do these readings with your players. It's really cool stuff. And so I think that's another one that is one that we're really proud of, and that you can use in any game system. It doesn't have to be Pathfinder. It's fully system agnostic. So yeah, those are some really amazing things we've released on the Pathfinder side. And then, of course, our team has been very hard at work on Kingmaker. As we teased late last year, we let everyone know that we're working on Kingmaker, and we have been working on Kingmaker. It's been a lot of effort that's gone into it already. It's coming together great. It's going to need another couple months, but we are expecting a Q3 release, I think. I don't know if I was supposed to say that or not, but oh well, sorry. You'll learn more about Kingmaker later in this week, especially around the PaizoCon panel. There's going to be a bigger showcase of Kingmaker and where we are with it, and some discussion of that. So definitely stay tuned for those of you who are interested in Kingmaker, which really should be all of you, because it is really superb. And the quality that it's being implemented with, and all of the sort of craftsmanship, I think it's going to be one of the best digital role-playing products that's ever been created. I guess that lacks a little bit of humility to say that, but I think, I think it's going to be really something special. And so definitely encourage you all to keep an eye on that. Let's see if anyone's yelling at me for saying that. Okay, looks like I'm getting away with it, maybe. So those are some things that are happening on the Pathfinder front. Obviously, I'd be remiss to mention all of the cool Pathfinder stuff that's happening without really shouting out the community team that helps manage and maintain that system. And so, to Tim and to Shark and to, it's too many to name, but honestly, like everyone who does the hard work of managing and curating and maintaining that game system, really tremendous work being done over there by the Pathfinder community. All right, let's see what's next. So I talked a little bit about, we released V10, we released V11. DQA. So I mentioned House Divided. We released Demon Queen Awakens. That was before our last anniversary celebration, but this is also on sale now. Like House Divided, it's a piece of adventure content. It's a little bit smaller, so it's only $16, which is a really nice deal. And you should expect an update to Demon Queen Awakens very soon. That's going to have some exciting new stuff. So you don't have to pay anything to get that update. If you own it, you'll get it for free. If you don't own it, well, you'll get the updated version, but there's going to be a few new things that are coming for DQA very soon. So keep an eye out for that. And then what else do I want to tease? Certainly I'll talk about Crucible in a little bit, but yeah, I talked about Kingmaker. Let's talk about V11, and then I can comment a little bit on where things might be headed towards for V12. Can also take some questions from chat, of course, but let's do that for a bit. I'm going to go ahead and talk a little bit about what are some of the highlights in V11. So we did development streams for our prototype releases, for the development releases, but I think we did one for testing 1 release, but I think there's a little bit of new features in the testing releases that didn't necessarily get a lot of coverage from a dev stream. So I'm thinking that it would be a good plan to kind of just go through those, not in full detail, but yeah, go through at a high level and talk about some of the stuff that we added to V11 during the testing phases. All right, so maybe I'll put a little bit of background music on. I don't want to drown you all out, so let me know. I think this volume level will be okay. I'll just have it down at like 25. Let's go a little lower. Let me know. Just a little bit of background music to kind of augment the mood while I talk through this stuff. Yeah, Dregory, I can definitely show those off. Thank you, Ian. Thank you. I just put on some of your music on the stream. I hope you don't mind. Lower a tad. All right, there you go. All right, so this is just, I'm just going to touch on things that we released since the development phase. So in testing 1, testing 2, testing 3. Some of the highlights in testing 1, we added table support for Prosmere. I know that's something that you all it was a missing piece in V10. So let's see. So for example, when you add a journal page, I'm gonna add like page with table. Here is a table. You now have the ability to insert a table, say like 5 by 5. You can make it do headers, you can resize the columns, you can, once you're in a table, you can say like add a row, sort of just the standard sort of table management things like merge cells, merged table header. Yeah, so basically just support for managing tables in HTML with a built-in sort of Prosmere management plugin for that that's something that we would have wanted to do in V10, but while we're sorry we missed it for V10, we're happy to get that feature added in time for V11. Another thing that's really neat in V11, we continued to improve the setup menu. So I'll go back to the setup menu. I'll show you a couple of those features. So favoriting modules or systems or worlds, any system or module, you can right click on it, you can click mark favorite, and when a package is favorited, it will always be sorted to the front of the list. So say like I'm working on Demon Queen Awakens a lot, I can pin that as a favorite, and there's a little star up here, and that world will always be like first in your list because it's a favorite, and then everything else will be sorted after that based on most recent playtime. So that's a new feature there to help make it easier to manage your stuff on the new setup screen. Another fun thing from the new setup screen that was after the initial development versions that we already showcased, there is now a theme switcher that was something we showcased earlier, that you can change the theme, but you can kind of preview it in real time, so we can switch to a more like sort of mellow, sort of darker fantasy kind of vibe. Or we have a new sci-fi theme that you can use for the setup menu that's more futuristic in its appearance. And so for people that are playing, sci-fi or futuristic looking games, we have a new setup theme that you can choose from for your setup menu that looks quite different than the default one. And so for those of you who don't play fantasy games, hopefully that will be something that you enjoy and appreciate. Kudos to Anathema for taking the time to do the sci-fi theme skinning. That was something that we were happy to work together to get added as a late addition into V11, and we'll be working on a few more themes over time. And then as our new UI design extends into the extends into the rest of the software moving forward, then those themes will also be available for things like inside the game environment. You'll be able to theme switch like that as well. Question from Elf Tarot. Yes, if you have multiple favorites, the favorites then go to like the secondary sorting criteria. So for example, if it's game systems and I have Crucible and Black Flag both favorited, Black Flag goes first because alphabetically it would go before. And then if I have Worlds, the next sorting is based on recent playtime. So like if two Worlds had the same playtime, although that wouldn't happen for Worlds, they wouldn't have ties. But yeah, it sort of it falls back to the next criteria, basically. Yeah, so let's pop back in here. What else do I want to? What's next? Compendium Pack improvements. Lots of improvements to Compendium Packs. So inside the game, there's a new UI for Compendium Packs, as well as folders in the Compendium sidebar. So all this organization of my Compendium Packs is all new. Maybe I'll make a folder for like music Compendium Packs. I'll give it like a sort of dark blue. Yeah, so I can organize my packs themselves. I can put those into folders in the sidebar. I can then, open up a pack and there's a new UI and some improvements there in terms of managing the Compendium sidebar the way that you would want to. It also supports folders inside Compendium Packs, so things like having like different categories of items inside an items compendium with like full folder organization inside the Compendium Pack is another big new feature. Improved sorting capabilities, so now you can toggle between a sort of basic text search and a full text search. So like search by name only, and we search for like sword, we'll get a couple results. But if we change it to full text search, well, full text search in this case isn't going to do anything because I don't have like rich descriptions of those. But anyways, it depends on there being like a data model for the actors in order to be able to deeply search. But full text search allows for systems and modules to like register certain fields of the data model as being full text searchable. So if you have like a field of your actor that says it's like a category, dragon, and then you search, and then you have full text search on and you search for dragon, you would find any actors that like have that tag. And so that's going to be something that will rely, like we've built the feature, but it's going to then rely a little bit on game systems and modules to like build the other half of the bridge and designate that certain of those fields are the ones that should be searchable in that way. Hey, thank you very much, Jew Jackson, for the subs. That's really generous of you. Ealkin asks, how quickly will the VOD be posted to YouTube? So you can always watch the replay on Twitch as soon as we go offline. Like that video is available. It's not set to subscriber only or anything. So you can like watch it on our Twitch channel immediately as soon as the broadcast is over. But then it'll be probably like a day or a day and a half. And then we'll have it up on YouTube as well after that. Astro Gamer asks, will there be a collab between Foundry and Critical Role to bring Daggerfall RPG to Foundry VTT? I would love that. We love what the folks at CR do. Obviously, like details about what they're doing with Daggerfall hasn't really been announced yet, but they did announce like a stream for their kind of more lightweight, narrative forward game. I think it's like Candela Obscura or something like that. I sorry if I'm getting the name wrong, CR folks, but yeah, that looks really cool. But then there's also like the sort of longer format Daggerfall game that they're working on. Yeah, I mean, we would certainly love to have support for that system on Foundry VTT and hopefully have that fully realize whatever creative vision they might have for that. But the willingness is certainly there from our side. I think it's more a matter of like, does it make sense for their team to provide digital support? Do they want to do that? Is that a bridge that they want to cross? we're certainly interested, but we wouldn't do it on our own without it being a sort of mutual thing. Yeah, so let's see. Where was I with other features to highlight? Crushing lots of bugs, that's all useful. Nothing here. These are all like really important things, but nothing that necessarily demands coverage. Gosh, we did a lot. This is just testing one. We did a lot. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna spend this stream doing like the full detail of patch notes that I would normally do in a dev stream. I'm gonna keep it a little bit more high level. So I'm not gonna touch on all of that, but yeah, new particle effects for rain and snow. You're seeing here on the stream the new weather effect. This is a much more beautiful rain effect than what we've had before. It's much improved. You can see, I'll make it daylight. Here's a much more beautiful rain. It's much more realistic looking. We also have a new rain storm, which is much more fierce. So here's a really fierce rainstorm effect. Looks really, really good. You can see that the whole scene is getting pretty well flooded at this point. Yeah, it's sadly diminished in beauty by Twitch compression, but you can imagine, or you don't have to imagine, because you can check out V11 yourself, either now or when it becomes stable next week. We also have an improved snow. Well, actually, okay, so I'll go to fog next. We have a built-in fog weather effect. So this like kind of foggy, swirling fog clouds, brand new weather effect that you can use on any scene. It's very atmospheric, really perfect for storytelling under certain circumstances. So that fog weather effect is great. We have a new weather effect for snow that replaces the old snow. It's a far more realistic and immersive looking snow effect. The previous snow effect was basically these little snowflakes that would just kind of drift down and spin. This is much more realistic looking sort of snow flurries. And so really happy to have this much better particle, rather than particle effect based, it's a shader based snow effect. And also a new blizzard, which is for very sort of like rainstorm is to rain, blizzard is to snow, for a much more fiercely blustering snow effect that really looks awesome. So yeah, I think those are some really amazing additions by Secret Fire in this update, and they look really great, and I'm excited to see us keep continuing to offer new options for weather in the future. AstroGamer says, a word of appreciation thanks to the devs, modders, code writers for Foundry VTT. Great job in years past and years to come. That's so sweet of you. Thank you, AstroGamer. I really appreciate that sentiment. I totally agree with you. Thanks so much to the module development community. And it's a team effort to make this all happen. We do our part for sure, but our part is not all of it. It's not all up to us. It's largely that the community responds and engages so well with what we do. And that reciprocation is what makes the Foundry community so great. LeBom James, this is tabletop RPG music in the background. I just have Ian's module installed, and I just have the all atmosphere playlist on shuffle. And so this is all tabletop RPG music, which you can install through the Foundry VTT module browser. Highly recommend. Ian is supremely talented, so talented that I pay him money now to work with us. And so I am biased, but I love Ian's work, and he's a really tremendous composer. Moving on. We've got door sounds. Yes, I forgot about that. That's fun. Let me switch to a different map that has some doors that I could do. Yeah, let's just do council chamber. So as you know, we have this like, oh, you tried to open a locked door. But we now have a whole sound set for doors that you can configure. And you can choose between lots of different options for doors. So for example, suppose we do like a heavy wooden door. We have a new preview button. That's new since what we had before. So clicking this preview button will like let you hear what some of the door sounds would be like under this situation. And so if we set the heavy wooden door here, then we have a player who kind of approaches the door here and tries to open it, or does open it. The sounds of the door opening and closing are really beautiful. So there's an opening sound, there's a closing sound, there's a it goes from unlocked to locked. There's a it goes from locked to unlocked. There's a you try and open it while it's locked. So there's all these different door sounds that are supported in V11, and there's a really big list. Roman on the team and Matt also did some really amazing work. Some of it, like we've got like rocky stone door. Very dramatic sound of like opening heavy stone doors. So you can choose basically exactly what your door should sound like a jail door. Yeah, really amazing sound sets for all these different door types. And so basically, like as you're building your map, when you're placing doors, you can choose like what should this door sound like when people engage with it, and that gives just this like really great extra layer of immersion to the scene and to the world. Awesome. Let's see, what else do we got? UI improvements for folders, talked about that already. So we have another improvement for Compendium Packs, that you can configure the ownership of the Compendium Pack, which lets you choose like, can your players see this Compendium Pack in the sidebar? So say you want to say like none, then players won't be able to see this Compendium Pack in the sidebar. And each of these different ownership levels, like for documents that are set on the Compendium Pack, those configure what capabilities that player role has with it. So for example, like if I set it to limited, then the pack won't be visible in the sidebar, but the contents of the pack would be visible if they like come up as like a roll table result or something like that. So non-limited, observer, and owner, they each have special meanings in terms of like what level of capability do they give over the Compendium Pack. But this is a new feature that is going to be really valuable in terms of allowing you to fine tune, like say for a system, like should you be able to, see the full list of all available talents, for example. Like maybe, I know you don't know what that means, but maybe we say, oh, you shouldn't be able to see all of the talents. So this becomes none, and then you get a little eye icon next to the pack that lets you know that like that this pack is like hidden from some players, like they won't be able to see it. So much better control over like which levels of user can do things with a certain Compendium Pack. It's a really nice addition. Yeah, we also have an amazing filter now where you can filter for specific types of packs. Like here's the ones that have scenes, or here's like, and you can have multiple things like items and scenes, or just scenes, or we'll take this away and we'll look at just actors. So you can filter for which type of compendium there is, and so lots of great tools for like finding the stuff you're looking for, especially when you have lots of modules installed, or when the system you're playing ships with like a large number of compendium packs. Makes it easier to find the ones that you're looking for. Endless Night asks, will there be a way for the GM to sneakily open doors without playing the sound effects? That's a good question. I don't know if I do it. I'm not sure. I'll have to look into that. I agree that there should be there should be a way to change the door state without it necessarily playing the sound effect for everybody. And so that's a good UX suggestion, that there should be like a fancy, a sort of subtle way to do that. I know shift click was discussed, but I'm not sure that we followed through and actually did that yet. So that might be something we need to kind of follow up on and double check. Yeah, Alt is usually the modifier we use for do it sneakily. So Alt click would be a good compromise. Yeah, so much in here. Oh yeah, new light source animations. I think someone asked to see those, so yeah, happy to show what those animations look like. So for example, suppose we create a light source here. We'll make it like a bright orange. Maybe I'll make it something more visible, like a green that'll contrast more. We have a new two new options. So there's rotating, revolving light, and you can choose with the intensity what should be the angle that is emitted, and then with speed you can choose like how fast does it rotate. And so yeah, so something this revolving light is a new option that can be good for sort of like a spotlight or a lighthouse or watchtower or something like this. And then for a much faster revolving animation, the revolving light's a little slower. For a much faster one, there's what's called siren light, which is more for like you can imagine like a police siren. I guess photosensitivity warning for anyone in chat, if this might bother you. We do have, like, if you have photosensitivity mode enabled, then these animations kind of downgrade. But yeah, so this could be sort of a good, sort of if you're playing like a modern setting or something and you want like a, police car kind of look, we can do like one red and one blue. And you get this kind of, I'll put them out here on the snow so it's much more vibrant. Yeah, you can get this kind of like siren. I mean, maybe you give them slightly different speeds or something, but yeah, you can kind of make some interesting effects with that for sort of modern or futuristic settings. Let's see. I think I already showed the module maker, but I don't think I need to show that anymore. Then our most recent release, which was just, oh my gosh, was it yesterday? Was it Wednesday? When did we release this? May 18th. That's yesterday. I don't even know where I am anymore. Yeah, so yesterday we released Testing 3, which we envision being our final testing release before Stable, and so that is out now. And it contains some of the sidebar search improvements that I already showed, the sci-fi theme that I already showed, just lots of bug fixes, some API improvements, some, oh, tool clips, yeah, that's one I can show. So as part of improving everyone's ability... You're in space now, boss. Oh, you mean the patch notes? You mean the patch notes? I don't know what Cody means. Train of thought derailed. What was I going to say? Oh, tool clips. Yeah. So as part of helping to help people learn how to use Foundry VTT, our Canvas control palette now has what we call tool clips, which is basically like when you hover over it, there's a little WebM pop out that gives you all of like the controls and a little visual example of how the tool works. And so this is really a way to kind of help learn how to use the software, that anyone who's new, when you hover over it, you get this little tutorial experience that teaches you how to use the feature. This was a great idea that Matt from our team had, and he worked on recording these videos and making it happen. And so yeah, even like every wall type in terms of like showing like how do terrain walls work. There's like little visual examples of all of those, including like our new window sort of proximity walls, showing how those look. Yeah, so these like tool clips is a really cool feature. And then for folks that do already like really know, like I know how to use Foundry, I don't need this, I'd rather just have like less on my screen. If you feel like you know already know what you need to know, there is a setting for that. So show tool clips on hover, and you can turn that off, and if you turn it off, then you know you won't, oh, I'd have to reload for it to take effect. So yeah, I'll do that and then reload, and then you don't get the tool clips. One neat thing that we could maybe do before this gets to stable is probably the tool clip behavior doesn't need a full browser reload in order to go from on to off. So maybe like doing a little bit of work to get that setting to not require like a hard refresh would be nice, because I think you should be able to just turn it on or turn it off and have it kind of immediately take effect without a reload. It's a client setting, LeBom James, so basically each individual user can have their own choice about, do I want those tool clips on or not? Yeah, there's a lot more that we've done. This is a kind of a brief survey of things, but yeah, you know, I think hopefully this gives you all a little sense of the types of things that we're working on as we get V11 towards a stable position. So really exciting to kind of keep pushing these like little quality of life improvements that can be used to you know, really make V11 feel as good and as stable as it possibly can feel. You're welcome, AstroGamer. Thanks for saying that. Let me see if there's any... Oh, Nork is disproportionately hyped for selecting a wall by the segment itself instead of the endpoints. Yeah, so that's a little change. When you have lots of walls like this, it used to be that you have to kind of hover over the endpoint to get to the wall. You know, not so difficult to do, but you can just click right in the middle now of the wall instead of needing to click on one of the endpoints. So that's a change. We had to do a little bit of reconfiguring of some like interactivity things in order to make that feel good, but yeah, I'm happy. We're very happy with how that's come out, and it does make it easier to like get a hold of the walls that you need to change. Is there anything else for those of you in chat? Is there anything else like from the V11 patch notes or anything that you're wanting to like see a little bit of a demo for? Like, is there anything that I can kind of give a little demonstration of or show you how it works or anything like that? Let me know what you'd like to see. Endless Nights, you can't drag the wall section in the middle, but it will, like, whichever endpoint you're closer to when you start dragging, it's like the other endpoint is the one that will adjust. So like if I'm right to one side of middle, like it'll kind of anchor one endpoint in place and you'll drag the other one. Question from Ju Jackson, what's your favorite change or new feature for V11? Ooh, that's a really tough question. Because we've done so much. I guess let me give two answers to that. I mean, I love so many features that we've done, and so I really would say more than two if I can, but I can't get away without at least two, because one of them's a little bit more technical in nature. I really love that unlinked tokens now just behave really well from an API perspective, where it's basically completely transparent whether you're working with an unlinked token or whether you're working with a linked token. I mean, that's always been a piece of our code base that's been tricky, and I think that Kim did really amazing job working on the unlinked token stuff. And so from a technical perspective, that's a real winner with me. I think from a player-facing perspective, I think the proximity walls is probably my favorite. So, you know, I can give a quick demo of like what that looks like. Let me just like grab a map that would have windows. So here's a cabin. I'm just gonna get rid of the roof so that it's easier to see. Let's see. Yeah, I'm just gonna delete I'll just delete the roof so that you guys can see inside more easily. So like suppose this room here has this window. Now here, the way that it's walled, it's just kind of walled over the window. But if I do that a different way, I'll adjust my walls to be a little bit more realistic. We'll have a solid wall up into the window, and then I'm gonna take a window wall or a proximity wall and configure it there. So we'll say like when you're within 10 feet of the window, you can start to see out of it. And so what that means is that as you, I need to make sure that vision is enabled for this scene. Let's see, token vision, yes, vision enabled. Let's do that. So as you are farther away from the window, you can't see out of it. But when you get up to the window, let's see, what did I do here? Did I do something wrong? I don't know. Maybe it's because of the roof. My demo is not doing what I think it was because of the roof. I think this is like a final bug that we have in the V10. Oh, no, I don't know. Why is it doing that? Is this wall somehow blocking it? Huh. I'm not sure what's going on. Sometimes when giving a live demo, I get confused, but I don't think I'm doing anything incorrectly this time, so I might have to look into this. Of course, V11 is not entirely stable yet. There may be some bugs that still require fixing, but I'm not sure. Let's give a vision range and see if that changes things. It might be vision range related, but I would have expected... Oh, I see. Okay, I figured it out. There's no light outside. Yeah, people in chat are telling me there's no light outside. Yes, you're right. There's no light outside. So I'll just I'll turn down the darkness level. We'll turn on global illumination so we have full illumination of the scene. So now this will explain a little bit better what's happening here. Thank you all, thank you. So when I am not near the window, when the proximity wall is there, you don't see out of it. But when I approach the window, you start to get visibility out of the window, and the closer you are to the window, the further you can see. And so, yeah, and on both sides, you can see like as you approach the window, you get this little sliver of vision outside the window that you normally otherwise would not have. And that can work in both directions, or it can be sort of one way only. Like if you're approaching this cabin from the outside, you can't see into this room from over here, but as you get close to the window, you can start to see like what's actually inside. And if you go right up to the window, then of course you're like looking straight through the window like a creeper from outside the cabin, and you're seeing what's in the room, but you're not seeing that from like all the way over here. And so this is a really neat feature that I mean, we all like having windows in our maps, but it's just not so good for gameplay if, like, for example, this wall isn't here, which is sort of the V10 situation, and like here I am all the way over here, and I'm from all the way over here just sort of seeing right into this room. I think it sort of ends up spoiling a lot of the surprise of like needing to explore the map. And so having the proximity walls that can kind of preserve those secrets until you get right up to where they should come into effect is, I think that's probably my favorite like player-facing feature in V11, to go back to actually answering the question. Oni TV, yeah, there's two ways you can stop weather inside buildings. One is to have a roof, like I had, and then I deleted it, just to show you things a little bit better. That would do it. And then also the other one is if you you can define a terrain mask that would also mask out that weather when it's active. So yes, there's two ways to do that, Oni TV. All right, let's see. Any other questions about V11 stuff that folks would like to see before I maybe do a little bit of a Crucible tease, and then we'll just do some more Q&A, and then can wrap up for today in 45 minutes or so? Highlight to link. Yeah, that's a good idea, Matt. Thank you for mentioning that. So suppose we have a journal entry. I created this one earlier for Prosmere tables. So suppose I'm editing this journal entry and I say, so I've got an actor here in this world called Arctis. So let's say we were adventuring and Arctis encountered some hobgoblin fighter. Let's see, what is this thing called? Fighter. So when you're typing this, what you can do, if you select over a piece of text, there's a pop-up that will prompt you if that is the name of a thing in your world. So I can then just grab the Arctis actor and convert that text to a link without having to like track it down or anything. Same with Hobgoblin Fighter. I can get the match and I can just make that a link, and then all I have to do is save the journal entry, and I've linked this stuff. And so when you're composing your stuff, you don't have to worry about like finding the thing and then dragging it in. We can say we were exploring the city houses, and then ... and for something like a scene like city houses, I can just link it very easily by highlighting it. And so that makes it much faster to kind of keep all of your notes interlinked as you're taking them, because it really reduces the amount of time you have to spend tracking down like what's the thing that I want to link to. Laszlo Lessons, players can go typing in random names and find your big bad. I don't think so, but that is a good point. We do want to make sure, and this is probably a follow-up for us to verify, that from the player's perspective, we only prompt with these, auto linker options for documents that they have some level of visibility to see, at least limited. So as long as like you have at least limited visibility to the document, that should work. Question about why drag, why not click? We're collecting feedback on that. So we are still in the testing phase, and so a lot of what we're doing in the testing phase is collecting feedback on how should the UX be. So I've also expressed this question within the team, like should it be a click and drag it, or should it just be like while this little UI is open that I just click on it? Now currently clicking on it, it kind of opens the sheet for that thing, but I think it is arguable that if you were to just click on the thing while this is open, that you might just get the link directly. And so that's something that we're discussing, and we definitely want to collect feedback from the community on that. Because I think there are some things that maybe could be easier there. But even so, it is already much easier than it was maybe in the past to find those things that you want to link to. I see a question about roof transparency for GM. If you select a token that's underneath the roof, the roof disappears completely unnamed GW. I don't know if that helps you or if that maybe doesn't fully address what you're hoping for, but the partial transparency of the roof is only there if you don't have a token selected. So as soon as you like click a token that's inside the building, the entire roof fades away completely. All right, let's maybe show a couple of additional things here. So I want to maybe cover, like we talked about releases, we talked about year in review, we talked about this stuff, we talked about the anniversary thing. I want to tease a little bit of what we're going to show with Crucible. I'm not going to get too in depth with it because that's going to be the theme for the Thursday stream that's going to really get in depth on that. But I do want to give you all a little bit of a sense of what we're working on here, and hopefully that will entice you to watch on Thursday to learn more about it. This is something that I think is it's been really fun to work on, and I think it has the potential to be something really great. But it is going to be something that develops in conjunction with the community and gradually over time. So Crucible, to give you a little overview of what we're doing with this, Crucible is a game system for Foundry VTT. And so, you know, as you probably saw here when I was teasing earlier under the game systems list, it's here. Crucible is a game system that we are building that is an option for for folks to play, and it does some things in a very interesting and very different way that's very exciting. So Crucible, and here's a little preview of some of our work. Everything here is very work in progress. So let me first say that this is all very work in progress. What we are releasing soon is the first public playtest for Crucible that contains a lot of the basic rules, and it really implements a lot of things. So compared to what you might be used to from like a first playtest, I think what we have is extremely robust, and I really look forward to people getting their hands on it, and there's going to be a lot more opportunity to do that. Crucible is going to be starting out as available for Patreon playtest, because that's something that we'd promised to our Patreon users for a long time, that they would be the first to get their hands on Crucible. And so it will be available to Patreons for the playtest first for a little while, and then after that it will be a public playtest. But I want to tell you a little bit about the Crucible system, because there's some things that make it particularly unique. It is a non-class-based system, so it has a very heavy emphasis on character progression, but without predefined character classes. So it has a sort of fully open character advancement system that allows every character to progress in both vertical and horizontal dimensions. It is a dice pool system, so the dice mechanics of the system are ones that mathematically I think are particularly appealing. It does a great job of balancing random chance with kind of the gratification that you have from improving your character's power, translating into predictable outcomes and evidence of success. It relies really heavily and is designed specifically for automation within the VTT environment. So it is a little bit of a slightly crunchier system, but it doesn't play that way because so much of the crunch is just handled within the software automatically. And it has a very unique spellcraft and magic system, along with some other very unique systems that I think really differentiate it from other game systems that are available in the space. And so I can show you a little bit of some of those things, but I'm going to also keep my powder dry a little bit on not going over too much in order to hopefully entice people to watch the stream on Thursday. So obviously you're seeing like the really lovely rules and the journal system that we're developing, and the kind of UI UX for that. You get a sense of like the look and feel that we're that we're working on. And so you'll get a tease. You'll see some like previews of how some of the rules are implemented as well today, but I'm going to go into that in more detail on Thursday during the Thursday stream. So I'll pop open a character sheet on Crucible. The sheet does not match the journal theme yet. We're keeping the character sheet a little bit more basic in its theming for now, because the mechanics of the system are rapidly evolving, and it's a little easier to iterate on the mechanics while if there's not quite as much of a link to the UI UX requirement of it. So the sheet is nice, it's functional, it looks good, but it's also not the final UI that the sheet is going to have. This just lets us evolve mechanically a little bit more rapidly as we're developing the system. Some things you'll notice on this character sheet: Crucible has 6 resource pools. Health and wounds tracks your physical hardiness. Wounds is a long-run accumulation pool that tracks damage that accumulates over a longer period of time, sort of your long-term durability, and health is more of a short-term capacity to act. Similarly, there's resource pools for sort of psychological and mental well-being with morale and madness. This character happens to have the same in both because of the way that their stats are balanced, but that wouldn't necessarily be the case for most characters. Action and focus dictate your ability to act in combat. There's ability scores, there's defense types. I'll get into all of those in more detail on Thursday. I'm not going to spend too long on it today. Resistances all play into the resolution of combat mechanics and character development. We have a rich set of skills that break down into 4 categories, and there's a lot of skill progression that's available within the system. So there's exploration skills, knowledge skills, social skills, and technical skills that provide your character with lots of opportunities to do interesting things both in and out of combat. I mentioned that Crucible is there's no classes, there's a class-less system. And so this is where the absence of class progression really comes into the fore, and that you're choosing any skills you want, you're progressing your attributes however you want. And then we get to kind of the heart of Crucible's character progression, which is the talent system. So at the heart of Crucible's progression is the talent tree, which you see here. So this character is playing like a sort of defensive tank build, and the talent tree looks like this. And you see visually sort of what this character has invested in, but since there's no classes, you can really like invest into anything that you want on this tree as you progress. And so each of these options is what's called a node, and within each node there are several talent options that you can take. So for example, within this node, this character has chosen the cadence talent, which is a particular martial feat that this character can perform when using a one-handed weapon. And the talent tree gives you sort of fully free-form character development to progress however you would like, to create sort of any sort of character vision that you are interested in taking. So, this character has like a shield bash and some other talents that benefit shield usage and some things for self-healing. And the Dreadlord signature talent, which allows this character to use intimidation to sap the morale of enemies all around them. Signature talents, this outer wheel, are ones that sort of transform the gameplay of the character type. So once you achieve a certain signature talent, like Berserker, or as I mentioned, Dreadlord, or Rune Warden, or Shapeshifter, or Gladiator, the signature talents really change some aspect of your character's gameplay in a more significant way. Now, what you're seeing here is what's called Tier 1 talents, and this is for character levels 1 through 6. The Crucible system eventually is going to have 3 tiers of talents, Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3, and the eventual talent web is going to be about like this. And so you can see that the scope of character progression is going to be really ambitious and really tremendous in terms of like your ability to craft a fully unique character concept. So there's a really strong emphasis on character building in this system. And it allows you to create character concepts that are really unique, but also achieve a very exciting gameplay style that you're interested in having for your character. Some other examples of like what this looks like for some other archetypes. So for example, here's like a sort of arcane archer type character that balances archery with spellcraft. This is what their talent web looks like, in that they've unlocked the arcane archer capstone as well as a number of talents in the different sectors of the tree on their way to that. You can take more than one signature. You're not limited to just one. You are limited to 2 signatures per tier, though. You can take 2 tier 1 signatures, and then as you later expand to tier 2 and tier 3, you'll be able to take additional signatures at those later tiers. You're limited to 2. Another, just, giving a sense of like what some of the character diversity looks like. Here's a sort of healer character that is specialized in rallying the morale and improving the health of their party. So this is kind of a buffer / healer / morale raiser. This is sort of, different capstone talents here. Things like steadfast that allows you to make yourself resolute against morale damage, or things that allow you to better inspire your allies and recover their resources. And then here's one that's more of sort of like a war mage type character. Very invested in spellcraft, different arcane runes and gestures, counterspelling, and war mage recognition of what enemy spellcasters are doing and the ability to negate those spells with your own runes. So yeah, there's these are all different ways to build very different types of characters, but none of them rely on you having chosen a particular class. So if you want to be like an unarmed monk type brawler that also casts spells, you can do that. If you want to be a bard type who uses verse and inspiration to improve the capabilities of your allies while also using a giant 2-handed weapon, you can do that. So you can kind of choose the unique combination of character traits that you want, and you can invest and progress your character to make that build a reality. See questions about Ian says, I demand to be part of the playtest of this. Sure, of course. You'll all be able to be part of the playtest if you are. Yeah. I'm sure there's been some questions while I've been talking, and I'm going to save most of the answers for Thursday, because I want you all to tune in for the Crucible stream where we go into it in detail. But I will showcase a little bit. Is this system being designed only for VTT use, or are you looking to go actual tabletop eventually? The mechanics for Crucible are such that you could, in theory, play them pen and paper. We've been specific to design it in a way that, like, you could theoretically play at a physical table, but it is not designed for that. There is a level of crunchiness in the system that the VTT simply allows you to take advantage of, that it really is designed specifically for Foundry Virtual Tabletop and to take advantage of everything that Foundry VTT can do for a very seamless and well-automated experience. Question from Zach the Rage, is this system going to be free or paid for? The vision is that the Crucible system will be free for everybody. There may at some point be like premium adventure style content for the system that might be a paid product, but the system itself, everything that is included in the base system, would be completely free. Yeah, let me show a little bit of examples of like the dice mechanics. Yeah, TJ says that. Well, part of the reason, TJ, it's not that we or I don't like automation. It's that trying to automate rules that are fundamentally inconsistent or not designed with software or automation in mind is a really sort of frustrating exercise. And so I think one of the design tenets of Crucible is that the rules implementation is designed with a certain mechanical structure and consistency in mind, that it lends itself well like there's a lot of harmony between the way the rules are written and the way that software would be written. And so because there's that harmony, automation is easy. And so there's, like, as you say, internal coherency. And I think that's what makes certain things possible. So, like, for example, let's talk about the dice pool system for a minute. So suppose we've got our War Mage character here, and, you know, obviously these might be normally allies, but also maybe talk about spellcraft a little bit. So, for example, when Elisa, the War Mage, targets Seraph and wants to, you know, cast an offensive spell, I haven't really talked about the spellcraft system much yet, so let me give a little teaser of that. The spellcraft system is unique in Crucible. It's part of the talent tree progression. The mental quadrants of the talent tree can invest in arcane nodes that allow you to purchase runes, gestures, and inflections. A spell in Crucible is composed of a rune, which is the kind of fundamental arcane essence or element of the magic, a gesture, which is the way that essence is manifest in terms of its shape, its area of effect, the style of spell that it is, as well as an inflection that changes the way that the spell works by mutating it in a perhaps optional way. So it's very dynamic, the way that you approach spellcasting. So this mage, for example, has a couple of runes, like the Death Rune and the Flame Rune, as well as a couple of gestures like Arrow, also gesture Influence. And I don't know if I've purchased any inflections here. I think I just took Counterspell instead, but you could take inflections like, I'll show you some of those over here, like Compose or Pull or Quicken, which would allow you to transmute the spell in an additional way by making it, say, cost less action or be longer lasting, things like that. And so when you cast a spell in Crucible, for example, say these two are enemies, and you're going to cast, I can choose how to compose my spell. I can choose which rune I want to use, so we'll do maybe Death, and we'll do an Arrow of Death that we'll cast at Seraph. Oh, this spell missed. One of the nice things about Crucible is that it has automatic integration with Sequencer and JB2A, so if you have those optional modules installed, you will automatically get those spell animations and weapon animations that just automatically happen. You don't have to configure them at all. So the dice pool system in Crucible uses a 3d8 pool. And in addition to the basic 3d8 pool, there is a system of boons and banes, which modify your probability of success based on circumstantial, situational advantages or disadvantages. So boons, when you add boons to a roll, it upgrades the denomination of your dice pool. So as we add a boon, we see that this first die in the pool upgrades from d8 to d10. If we add a second boon, it becomes a d12. If we add a third boon, the second d8 becomes a d10. And so in this way, as you have more advantages which improve the odds of success or give you certain circumstantial or situational benefits, these can come from buffs, these can come from things like that, it increases the probability of your success. So our first spell was resisted by Seraph, but let's try again with 3 boons applied and see if we get better luck. Yes, so we've had a success here, where we've overcome their defense threshold, and that results in a certain amount of damage. There's no damage rolls in Crucible. Everything is determined automatically based on your sort of attack roll. So the attacker rolls, and everything is determined based off of that. So once damage has been dealt, the Game Master can easily confirm that damage, and you see the spell animation, you see the damage happen, action, cost, and focus occurs and was consumed. I've got lots more to show, Cody. I've got lots more to show. And one very cool thing is that in order for quality of life, in case there's any passage of play that was accidentally done, any amount of damage that's dealt or any action like that can be reversed. So say that was accidentally done, we can reverse it. It will restore the amount of health that was deducted. It will restore the amount of action and focus that was spent on the thing if you did something by accident. So these actions are reversible as well. Question about, is the system heavily dependent on movement or theater of the mind friendly? It can be friendly for theater of the mind, but the game system is really sort of specifically designed for tactical grid-based combat. There are tools to play out theater of the mind sequences in Crucible, but the first playtest is very sort of focused on like the tactical combat nature of it. So for example, I see some questions about movement. Like say you're in this sort of scene with these characters that I showed previously. I want to show you a little bit of what that means in terms of movement. So suppose like these heroes are, you know, adventuring in this environment and they discover this cave and they go into the cave and there's these, you know, 2 ogre berserkers in the cave. I'll show you just very briefly what a sort of combat encounter looks like here. I'm not going to maybe play it out in all detail because again, I want to save some things, but when combat begins in Crucible, you see a lot of things that are going to happen sort of for you automatically. One of the things that happened here is Piotr won initiative and has the highest initiative for the round. Piotr also has, I didn't rig this to happen, it just happened. Piotr also has the impetus talent, which means if that character is the highest in initiative on round 1 of combat, they get an extra action point for that particular round. One thing that's noteworthy is that the initiative order changes every round of combat, so you get away from the predictable sense of like, oh, I always go after the healer, so I'm gonna like use this one strategy because I know that the healer's always gonna do this thing right before me. Initiative order changes every single round, and so it adds a certain dynamism and unpredictability to combat, which I think is really appealing. So Piotr, with his extra action for the round, could see that he's up against you know, these dangerous-looking ogres. I want to show some of the other effects automation that can happen. So suppose Piotr uses the ability to mark prey, as that might be a good sort of combat opener. So he makes this roll, and unfortunately, actually it's a hit. Yeah, so he hits the Berserker and successfully marks the prey, and you'll see on the Berserker sheet that the active effect is automatically applied. Any boons or banes that result from that mark prey effect being active are going to automatically be applied to later attacks. So for example, Piotr, with his increased action pool for the turn, can fire a shot with his longbow. This shot that he makes is going to automatically have those boons applied. So as we expand out the chat card, we see that the first die in the pool is a d12. And yeah, so that's a successful hit. And because Piotr's a arcane archer, that means he can also do a arrow gesture spell at reduced cost after hitting with an attack. So he can also get like a voltaic arrow in. So you see like all of the nice animations, all of the nice automations. You're playing through this combat encounter very easily, very low amount of bookkeeping despite the amount of mechanical crunch that is involved. Let's see if the ogre who was marked can get some revenge. This is how movement would be handled. You get one free, well, there's exception cases, but you get one free movement per turn, but beyond that you're paying action point cost for movement, and you can see from the ruler that it will show you how many AP it takes to move any certain amount, and if you try and move like too far, you'll see that, oh, it goes red, like you can't move that far, you don't have enough action point. And so it'll automatically deduct the correct amount of action point as you move. So say we make that move, that was our free movement that we got for free this turn. The Berserker might use, say, Berserker Rage, might use Heavy Strike, and these actions are ones that all get completely automated with effects, with attack animations, with things like that. So I was targeting myself. No wonder that didn't work. That probably shouldn't be allowed. Let's try again. That was a nice example of why it's useful to be able to undo something. Like I could just take that and wipe it off and say, oops, I misplayed something. I can undo it. I don't need to go back and look up like, oh, how much damage was that again? I just undid it. So yeah, this heavy strike against Piotr, oof. Yeah, that's a hefty blow. And so yeah, I'll show a lot more of this on Thursday. But between the spell system, so also like healing mechanics. I mentioned this character is a healer. Suppose it were Seraph's turn. Might move up to Piotr. Might do like a healing spell. All of these mechanics are all fully implemented already. And so, the system is absolutely not done, but it is at a place that is really suitable for playtesting. And we're really excited to start collecting some feedback on people who can dig in, create character builds, dig into the talent tree, come up with radical character concepts, try out a pre-provided set of combat scenarios, test it out, see how it feels, give us feedback. We're going to continue iterating on the system and continue developing things. In response to that feedback, we're going to continue expanding out the character progression to the additional tiers of talents. So all of that is going to be coming. And there's a very character creation in the system is very easy. It's a guided process. We'll go through that on Thursday and show like what's the process of making a character. Like here's one that hasn't spent any talent points yet. We can go through what that process looks like. We'll workshop some character builds. We'll show some cool things that can be done with it. I'm very proud of the work that's been done for this system, and I'm really excited to start getting people's feedback on how it looks, how it feels, all of that. And so we'll dig into it a lot more on Thursday. I think I'll save the rest of my presentation for then. There's a lot more that I can show on Thursday that I haven't shown today. So hopefully this was like an appetizer that gets you all a little bit enticed to learn more about what the system can do. And be sure to check out that stream this coming Thursday on the 25th for a much more in-depth look at what the first playtest for Crucible contains. And it'll be around the time of that stream or shortly before, shortly after, that the first playtest for Crucible will be available for Patreon supporters to install and try out. And then that playtest will be made available for everyone shortly thereafter. So yeah, share the word. We did create a Crucible channel in Discord if any of you want to ask questions. I might answer some of those questions now. I might say you'll see a lot more about this on Thursday, but if you have questions from this that you're curious to chat about more, we created that channel in Discord that is available now for you to start building your curiosity and staying tuned. We'll use that channel for making announcements, like letting folks know when the playtest is coming and things like that. There's not a trailer yet, Dark Zhao, but there will certainly be at some point. Whether we'll have that in time for playtest 1, maybe not for the Patreon playtest 1, but we'll probably have some sort of trailer for like the public playtest 1, so that if you're trying to get players together to do a playtest, you can like show them the trailer and give them a sense of like what it's about. That'll probably be like a little ways away, but we'll have something so that you can show it and then hopefully use that to recruit some people to run the playtest. All right, let's see. I would like to maybe finish by doing a couple of giveaways. I think that's something fun that we can do throughout the week. So for those of you who have stuck with us throughout the stream, I think I can do a couple of things. We'll do House Divided. We'll do 2 copies of that. We'll do 2 copies of Demon Queen. And then we can do 2 access keys for the Crucible playtest. If you don't happen to be a Patreon supporter, you can get to it that way as well. So why don't I take a quick AFK, and I'll put together a little roll table so that I can draw some results, and the winners can choose between, in the order that you're drawn, the winners can choose between House Divided, Demon Queen Awakens, or access to the Crucible playtest as part of the giveaway. So don't go anywhere. I'm going to just put an AFK screen up real quick while I create that random table for the draw, and then I will be back with the result of that draw right on the far side of it. I will be right back.
It's pretty simple.
Okay. I am back, but there is a problem. Twitch has changed up their UI on me in a way that screws over my normal giveaway approach. Twitch used to give me a list of every user that's watching the stream, and now they only list 100 users, and the rest of the list is truncated. So that must be a recent platform change on the Twitch side, which means I don't know how to make a roll table that includes everyone watching the stream right now. And that's typically the way we've done this giveaway in the past. So that is a new change. So we've got a number of streams coming up next week that we're going to do giveaways for. So we're going to have to figure out a different approach to that for next week. All right, here's what I suggest. Let's just wing this. If you're here in chat and you want to put in for the giveaway, I need you to all enter once only. If you put more than once, I will disqualify you. I'm going to check. Once only. Maybe one of our moderators can put a slow mode on for me. I want each of you in chat who wants to enter the giveaway to enter a number between 1 and 100. Now, go ahead. Once only. If you say more than one number, I swear I will disqualify you. All right, here comes the roll, guys. 1d100. Let's see what we get. And I'm going to go from the top. We got 87. I'm going up the list. We're going to see, who was the first person to give 87? Do we have an 87? Do we have an 87? Do we have an 87? Has anyone been smart enough to put 87 in chat after I rolled 87? Let's see. Tikashar put 87. I don't know if that was before or after the roll, but well played, Tikashar. You are the first winner. Well done. Would you like, Tikashar, House Divided, Demon Queen Awakens, or access to the Crucible playtest. Let's see if Tikashar... I mean, it might be the slow mode that's getting Tikashar there. Demon Shard, please. All right, Tikashar, DQA for Tikashar. I'm going to give myself a note here. All right, we're rolling again. We get a 79. Let's see who was the first person. I see Flint Whistle. Oh, Twitch chat log is screwing me over. It's not letting me go back far enough. Friggin' amateur hour here at the stream. Let's see. I think it was Flint Whistle that had the first 79, but Twitch chat is really screwing me here. Flint Whistle, you are the winner of the second. Yeah, it's very scuffed. You are the winner, Flint Whistle, of the second giveaway. Nath tells me to grab the list in TM. Okay, but I can't take it away from Tikashar or Flint Whistle. I have to let them be winners. I can't like backtrack on them now. So, Flint Whistle, what product would you like of Demon Queen Awakens, A House Divided, or access to the Crucible playtest? Yeah, we're gonna have to figure out exactly how we're gonna handle the giveaways then. If I guess Nath figured out some way to get the full list, but let's see here. All right, create this table. All right, let's see. What did Flint Whistle decide? Crucible, please. All right, Crucible access. All right, then I'm gonna roll a couple more times on this table to pick another couple winners. We've got GM Trist, we've got Miramonte, we've got Matchis, and we've got Angry Ancient. GM Trist, Miramonte, Matchis, and Angry Ancient. You are the next 4 winners. If you want to let me know which of those products you are most interested in, you have the choice between Demon Queen Awakens, A House Divided, or access to the Crucible playtest. Congratulations to the winners. I'm staying tuned in chat to see which you want as your prizes. And then if anyone doesn't claim, I will roll more people off the table. So don't go anywhere just yet. There is still a chance. There's still a chance. Matchis chooses Demon Queen Awakens, please. Excellent choice, sir. They're all good choices. GM Trist chooses A House Divided. Miramonte Crucible playtest. Just looking for a response from Angry Ancient. Angry Ancient. Which prize would you prefer, or if you're not here? Yeah, it is a tough choice. They're all excellent options, and so you know, you're all. Yeah, love to see it. I think maybe we don't have Angry Ancient. I don't think I've seen them respond. So that means I can roll again and choose another winner. Two Ancient and 2 Angry to choose. That may be the case. Let's go again. All right, we get Adrian Parsons, a well-known name in our Twitch community. Adrian, you're a very regular viewer, and so I'm not sure that you've won before, so I'm happy to see your name come up. Adrian, would you prefer Demon Queen Awakens, A House Divided, or access to the Crucible playtest? As Nath has posted in chat for the winners, what you need to do is please send a DM to this account, to Foundry VTT on Twitch, with your username or email address on your foundryvtt.com account. So you need to have an account on the Foundry website, and then you can give me your username and I will get this key issued to you. Let's see. Adrian says, previously won House Divided. Oh, that's awesome. Well, you can complete your collection with DQA. Awesome. Well, that does it for our giveaway. Thank you, Nath, for the quick dive and save with getting me those list of names so that I could continue with the giveaway without too much fuss. And thank you all to everyone who's joined for today's stream. This is really a fun way to kick off the anniversary week celebration. I'm really excited for everything we've got going on. Just a quick reminder to recap through the schedule before we log off for today. The Paizo Timon's 150th PFS game is tomorrow. It's a Pathfinder game featuring Anathema and others. On Monday, we will have the Foundry VTT 2023 Year in Review article up on the website. Should be a very interesting read. All day on Tuesday, we're going to be doing an AMA on the community subreddit where you can ask us questions, anything you want to know. On Wednesday, we'll have another live stream about the V11 Stable release. On Thursday, there's going to be a deep dive session on Crucible that will be getting into all the nitty-gritty about how the system works and how it's coming together, what's included in the playtest, what's not. And then on Friday, we'll have a full team stream where we'll all gather together for Free Project Friday. That's going to be a really great time. You don't want to miss that for sure. And then PaizoCon starts in the evening. We have a PaizoCon panel stream on the Paizo Twitch channel at 7 p.m. Eastern on next Friday. And the anniversary sale that's ongoing, 20% off all of these great products, is all the way from now until Monday the 29th. So much that you can participate in. Don't forget that FoundryCon is going on right now all weekend. There's games that you can sign up for. There's games you can watch that are streamed on Twitch. PaizoCon is next weekend. Same deal. There's games you can sign up for. There's games that'll be streamed on Twitch. So much to do, so much to enjoy, to share the love of Foundry and the excitement for what we're doing. And thank you all very much for hanging out and joining in chat. It's been great spending time with you and really appreciate it. Anyone have a closing question or two that is just they're desperate to get answered, or maybe this is a good point to call it? I'll just see if anyone has anything before I say sign off for today. But yeah, thank you all for the really kind comments. It's really very much appreciated. We could not do this without our community. It is your support as well as your purchases which allow us to be doing what we're doing. So thank you very much for both of those. Gregory Term, how did you import the table so quickly? I have a macro that turns a list of names into a roll table. It's pretty cool. Island Runner, favorite sandwich filling? Ooh, tough. I like lots of different types of sandwiches, but I kind of love like a good tuna melt or a Reuben or, some like high quality pastrami. All really great. Oh man, bomb time. Look at all the 10 subs. Thank you. Thank you. That's so nice. Bomb time, back with more subs. The late breaking bomb. Yeah. All right, folks, I think I'm going to save some of the Crucible questions for Thursday, because that's when we'll get into the nitty-gritty details. But what's my development background prior to Foundry? A lot of hobbyist development and then professional data science, both coding professionally and as part of, hobby, but, those are things that I did before creating Foundry VTT. It's kind of mixed background of web development and app development, and then professional work, building machine learning and econometric models in Python, and sort of a mixed bag of programming, I guess. All right, folks. I think I'm going to end it here. I will catch you all on the next one, which for me will be the stream next Wednesday. But don't forget about the stream tomorrow for the Pathfinder game, and stay tuned throughout the week. If you want to chat a little bit about Crucible, I'll be hitting up that Discord channel later today to just hang out and answer a few questions, although I may mostly say wait until next Thursday, but we'll see. I'll answer some, and I look forward to seeing you all then. So until then, cheers. Have a fantastic Friday evening or afternoon or whenever it happens to be. Have a great weekend and happy gaming. Out.